In today's Google Ads tutorial, I will show you everything from setting up your first Google Ads campaign, finding the right profitable keywords, to setting up stuff like negative keywords in the backend, which could potentially save you thousands of dollars in potential ad spend over the long run. So to get started, head over to ads.google.com and right here just click on Start Now and sign into your Google account. To get started, actually just put in your business name as well as the web page that you want to promote. In this video, we are going to build up example ads for a video editing agency. Then I'm going to click on Next right here. Right here we can then link accounts if we want to. This is fully reversible, but I will actually just skip this. I will do this later on. And then we can actually select a goal for our campaign to have full control over all of our ads and therefore also a lower ad spend. We are actually going to skip this part right here. And then as for the campaign type, we are actually going to select search. Google often tries to push some kind of other performance max campaigns, but the search campaign is going to be by far the most powerful one. If for example someone is going to look for a video editing agency on Google, you can see that all of these results are actually going to be sponsored and are made with Google Ads. Now this is so powerful because people that are going to be writing stuff like video editing agency or I don't know, best hiking boots and so on, basically these people are already in the market into buying this service or product, and therefore it's super easy to convert these people into customers. One thing which is also important to mention is that with Google you are actually going to pay per click, but more on that later. Now just click on Next right here. Now as you can see, Google by default has suggested you some keywords, which I'm actually going to delete because most of the time these aren't really good. And I'm actually going to put in some example keywords. Let's for example say video editing agency, okay? Now one thing which is important to notice is that when putting in these keywords, there are different kind of keyword match types. And let me quickly explain to you how these work. Now we're basically going to differentiate between exact match, partial match, as well as broad match. Now, exact match, although it has the lowest reach, also has the highest relevance and therefore is super powerful. And broad match has the highest reach but lowest relevance. Partial match kind of sits in between. Now, you can pause this video to read through this right here. However, at its core, you will actually have to use exact match with brackets, phrase match with quotation marks, and broad match just in general. Now, generally, we are actually only going to use phrase match and exact match to promote on Google because these both are going to give us a high relevance and also a somewhat high reach with partial match especially. If we are going to use broad match, which although it has a high reach, our ad is going to show up to kind of search inquiries that are somewhat related to our keyword, which typically we don't want. We want to actually go for tight matching or moderate matching. Either way, I will actually leave you some free resources down below, and in these free resources you can find this keyword match type tool right here. So right here just put in all of your keywords. This is going to be stuff like best video editing agency, top video editing agency, excellent video editing agency, and so on. Now once again, in the free resources down below you are going to see some in-depth tips on how to actually find good keywords, but for now you will actually have to just select phrase match and exact match right here, click on make keyword fields, and then copy this and put it onto this section right here. Under more settings we can then customize this further. For example, I will actually make it so that this ad is going to be targeted to people in the US, and to do that I'm going to use the free resources right here, and I'm actually going to copy all of the US states right here and put them onto our custom locations, and then I'm going to click on add locations in bulk. I'm going to paste these right here, and then I'm going to click on target all. We actually do this instead of using the USA as a whole to get further information from where our customers are actually from, which states are converting better, and so on. Now under target, this is super important. Please select presence, otherwise your ad will also be shown to people that are going to be only interested in these states, for example. Under languages, just select the language that your ad is going to be in. Audience segments we can actually skip. This is only relevant to YouTube ads. And as for networks, I would actually recommend you to exclude both of these, because otherwise your ad is going to show up on other kind of partner networks of Google, which usually don't tend to convert as well as Google, at least from my experience. So just click on done right here, then click on next, and now we can actually get to the fun part, which would be designing our own ad. Right here on the right, you're going to see a preview of this ad, and on the left, we can then get started customizing this. But to understand this, we will have to understand how our ad is actually built up. Now, first of all, we are going to have our headline. The headline is super important, as this is going to be the first thing that a person is going to read. Then we have the display URL. Right here, we can actually also put in something other than our actual URL that this ad is going to take the person. We can, for example, put in something like free bonus to further improve our click-through rate. And then on the description, we will have to set a description. Now, quick disclaimer, no one is going to actually read through this word for word. However, I would actually recommend you to include some buzzwords like free forever, pre-made templates, and so on. Then right here we are going to have our ad assets. Now basically we are going to use these ad assets to make our ad larger and therefore improve our digital real estate on Google. Okay, now to get started we are going to first of all set a display path. I'm just going to say something like free bonus. And then we are going to get started by adding some headlines to this. Now, once you've added your headlines, you can see that they're actually going to rotate right here. Now, Google is doing this because they're basically trying to find the headlines that are going to convert the best. However, one thing which I would recommend you to do, choose one headline that is going to be crucial and that is going to be important for telling the user what your service is about. In my case, this would be Best Video Editing Agency. And in this case, I'm actually going to pin this headline to the first position so that this headline always will show up in the first position, because otherwise it would look kind of funny, I guess. Now, as for the other headlines, basically you can also add some custom headlines like keyword insertion, countdown, or also a location insertion. These can be super powerful for different kind of use cases. However, I will not go over that right now. Then add your descriptions. And now we can get started adding some assets, like for example the site link extensions, which would be this thing right here, or also other asset types like calls, callouts, or also lead forms, or also you can promote different kind of apps by using this. However, I will not actually do this for now. I will actually just click on next, as we are now actually done with creating our ad and designing our ad. Now the next step is going to be setting up a bid strategy for our ad. Now basically we will have to select what we want to focus on. If you are, for example, an e-com driven business, or if you are selling some kind of service or product, I would actually recommend you to select conversions right here. Now you will have to set up conversion tracking for this. However, in the Notion document down below, I'm going to list all of the tutorials that you will need to watch to actually do that, and it is going to improve your ads by quite a lot. Now I will actually just select clicks, and then we will have to set a maximum cost per click limit. Now we'll put you the industry average CPC on screen right now. I will actually just put in something like €3.50, and this is basically just a limit on how much you actually want to pay for a click. Then click on next, and now we will have to basically tell Google how much we want to spend on these ads. Now usually Google is trying to force us into paying a little bit more, as you can see €83, but I will actually set a custom budget, and I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to spend on average €10 per day. Now obviously the more you spend, the more data you're going to get, and therefore the faster you can actually improve and customize your ad to the data. But I will, for example, just add €10. Now it is also important to notice that this is going to be the average ad cost and average ad spend over 30 days. So depending on the day, the actual ad spend can vary quite a lot. The next step would be confirming all of your payment information to actually pay for these ads. Now, thank you for watching. You can watch my full in-depth tutorial right here, and you can find all of the free resources down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next one.